Alright, so this is the Queen Mine, located in western Nevada. I wasn't able to find a lot of information on this one, and I think that might be because it was of relatively little significance. But what we do know is that it's a gold and silver mine. I think it dates back to the early 20th century, like a lot of mines of this type. This area was pretty active around that time for gold and silver. But yeah, if anybody has any information on the history of this place, that'd be really interesting to know. So immediately, what we're seeing when we come in here, these timbering beams are in pretty rough shape. Now this doesn't get a lot of water, so the fact that these are in as poor shape as they are indicates that the hillside is exerting a tremendous amount of pressure. There's not any stability within this hillside, at least at the start of this mine. So that's what I'm thinking immediately going into this, to take it extremely cautiously. This is a very sketchy mine, as you can see. We're seeing daylight right there. We've got timbers coming down every which direction. The other thing I did notice was looking up at the surface. Get a look at that. This is one of the things that can make abandoned mines extremely dangerous. That crack right there is the beginning of what's going to be a collapse for this midsection of the entranceway of this mine. If you don't see that and you walk across this thing, there's a chance you could take a dive into this mine. It's pretty obvious also that that second collapse blocks the entire tunnel. So this is as far as we can really get. But let's take a look and see what's going on over here. Yeah, just get a load of this. This is crazy. Oh, yeah. That's as far as one can go. Now have a look at this. This plank that is not only bent but also cracked is holding up 6 feet of dirt. I'm not stepping under that thing, and it doesn't even look like there are any planks protecting that next segment. So this is as far as I'm going. There we go, there's a good view of that last remaining segment. So yeah, as you can see, totally collapsed, completely. There. Hard to really get much more collapse than that. But there is a second adit to this mine. We're going to go check that one out next. Hopefully we can get a little farther with it. Oh wow. Yeah, this is it. This is the collapsed section. Look at that. Yeah, it's totally gone. There's no way we can get past that point right there. That's tragic because it probably dives into solid rock at this point, given the steepness of the hillside. There are a few artifacts around here. Some old rail tracks, it looks like. Looks like an old bunker site or a building or something. Doesn't really look like it goes back any farther, but yeah, maybe they use this for storage or something. Relatively close to the main adit. And then obviously this is the latrine. In pretty good condition, all things considered. Some of the old road networks here that they used back in the day to run the mines up here. They're everywhere on the mountain. You can't see all of them because a lot of them are somewhat overgrown. There's one here, there's one directly above us. Several on that mountainside there that are pretty obvious. And I think there are also some that we missed on the way here. So this is the tailings pile for the upper adit. And let's go over here, we can kind of see it better. It's pretty substantial, actually. So was the tailings pile for the lower adit. So I would anticipate there's some decent workings to these. One of the nice things about mining in an area like this is you can build a road right up to the adit. So where we're used to in the Cascades, there's not really that opportunity because you have to deal with washouts. You have to deal with terrain that's very steep, cliffy, and often aerial tramway was used in a complex system of roads and railways that had to be maintained and ultimately contributed to the lack of success characterizing that era in Washington's history. But here is different. Here you can build a road anywhere, and you can see there are lots of these mining roads. There are actually 3 different roads leading up to this single adit. And no tramway, very simple shipping out of ore from the road network. Weather's never really an issue here in the high Nevada desert. Another thing you'll notice around this area is you got these massive tailings piles and lots of little ones. Now up particularly on that ridge, there are probably like 15 prospect sites. And here, if you'll notice the rock that we're standing on right now, it's not stable at all. It's pretty much gravel and sand. As we saw from the last adit, that means that the entrance to these mines is very unstable. It has to be reinforced by a strong supportive network of timbering. Now with prospect, you don't really have the justification to put that in yet. And so in an area like this, the prospects can just be kind of like pseudo surface prospects, where you dig down in something like this and examine the ore quality from the rock that's present. By doing that, you can get a pretty good idea of whether or not you want to actually put in the network of timbering to make the mine productive. This building infrastructure looks younger than early 20th century. If I had to guess, this was maybe 50s, 40s or 50s, but that's a complete guess. So, looks like a little bunkhouse or something here. Kind of interesting. Once again, have a look at this. This board is totally bent. It's holding back all this gravel that just wants to collapse this section. Let's take it nice and easy through here. This looks better than the lower adit, but it still doesn't look great. And we've already got a collapsed section right here. Ah, there you have it. I don't know if you can see that, but let me increase the exposure here manually. Okay, get that way up there. There's a collapse. It looks like it's complete. Like the lower adit, there's no getting past this. So I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, this is much better than the old one. The color is much more natural, and we got a couple different options. Check this out. So that's focused bright, 9,000 lumens. That's diffused bright, 9,000 lumens. And that's focused red. We got the dimming option as well, cooled more efficiently. So I'm kind of excited this summer to be able to use that flashlight more. It clearly didn't really do us much good here. But yeah, so this is the Queen Mine, Nevada. We wouldn't have visited this place if we hadn't happened to have been in the area for the Boundary Peak climb. But it's a small little guy. Not really, doesn't really see too many visitors.